Alright, so it's nearly 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I think last time I updated you, the battery charger wasn't working. I slowly got it worked out here, and in the morning I started getting a slow charge on my secondary battery there. It's probably at the top of half full. The next campground I'm going to has 50 amp outlets. It's going to be fine as far as getting that charge happening. So hopefully the next campground will be a bit quicker. I will get a full charge. It's only 110 miles away. I got to cross the US border, which is, you know, whatever it is, but 110 miles I'll be able to get easily with my main battery pack, and then I can top off the next battery at the next stop. So it's always good to have that in the bank just in case, you know, you get stuck somewhere, the charge doesn't last as long as whatever. I don't know. It's always good if you climb in mountains or something like that. So it's always good to have that in the bank. So anyway, I'm gonna make my way up to Toke, and by the time I get there, hopefully I'll be on charge at about 6 p.m. tonight. Might take about 4 hours to drive the 100 miles that I need to go. But it might be quicker because it's only 110 miles and I might not need to be as conservative with my energy. Alright everyone, I just arrived here in Toke. I'm at Toke Village RV Park and I'm pretty chuffed. Pulled 110 miles out of the pack, the drivetrain pack. I didn't have to do any transferring, and I still had about, I'd say, another 10 in the tank. Plus, it was all up and down hills all day. So it was about 4 hours of non-stop hill driving, which makes me happy because I know that this vehicle is going to be very good at dealing with the things that we're going to be dealing with on this trip. I'm also quite happy because after hours of tinkering and last night's debacle, I finally figured out how to solidify the charge system. So I'm pulling about 10.8 kilowatt from my 50 amp breaker here at this RV park, and I've limited the amperage pull to 47.5 amps on a 50 amp breaker. So there's no way that the breaker will trip. Me and Brett did that already at one RV park, and I think we blew a fuse or something, so we had to move spots. Sorry about that, whichever RV park that was. So we learned from that mistake, and I have learned to pretty much completely control how that will work. I've only got one more RV park charges to go because I'll be in Fairbanks not tomorrow but the next day. There's only 200 miles left, and then it's all on the sun from there, or you know, if people let us borrow their power and it's renewable, then we'll use that. But so I'm pretty stoked. I'm here. It's early. It's like 6 p.m. It's not 1:30 a.m. This town looks pretty cool. I might go and get a beer or something. Woo! Haven't had one of them for a while. I have phone reception again, so I can start talking to everyone and organizing my media that I've been stockpiling because I haven't been able to upload because of internet issues and all that sort of stuff. It could be a long night catching up with people, letting them know that I'm safe for a couple of days until I go to the Arctic Circle. Had a good border crossing today, across from Canada to the US. The guy gave me some good tips. He said I probably was gonna have trouble getting into the US again after traveling through Canada down to the border in the lower 48. He told me to go to a consulate or a embassy in Canada and ask if I could apply for a US visa, which is something I probably should have done a long time ago because I go to the US quite regularly. Today I spoke to Keegan Takori. He's a cameraman and I can't wait to introduce you all to him. So it's pretty official now. He will be meeting me up in Fairbanks, Alaska, and he will be my co-pilot for a little while. So it's going to be good to have some company and some direction. Keegan is a journalist. He's also quite handy with the camera. It's going to be good to have him around for as long as he sticks around. I think he's just down for a good old adventure. He's pretty stoked trying to get this van organized so 2 people can live in here. I'm sure we're going to be fine. We both seem like pretty laid back people. Keegan is Australian too, so it's going to be all Aussie accents and no confusion here. So can't wait to meet you, Keegan, in person, have a beer with you and see what next level we can take this project to. I've got to call Arturo down in Mexico. He's still grinding away down there for me. I haven't forgotten about you, Arturo. You're still there. It's just been crazy, man. I'll talk to him soon and see what he's drumming up down there for us. Last I spoke to him, he wanted to take on that role as the, you know, Latin American liaison. He wanted to direct us in that regard. That's where he's from and that's what language he speaks, and to be honest, I don't know what to expect when it comes to that part of the world. world. I've spoken to people and they're downright scared for my life. As we start crossing down into Mexico further south, and I keep, you know, telling them, oh, it's gonna be fine. And then I speak to other people and they're like, they're gonna love you. They're such giving and happy people, and I hope it's the latter, but more so, I'm probably just expecting somewhere right down the middle. There's assholes everywhere in the world and we're all in this together, so yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm happy this is happening and it makes me so excited. So I will cut this and I'm going to show you what's going on as far as charging goes, so that you can all understand what gibberish I'm talking about. Okay, so in our electronics cabinet, it's on and it's loud. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm probably going to explain this again, and I'm probably going to explain it another many amounts of times. We have our 13 series of batteries, the start of the series, the end of the series. We want them to be nice and balanced. They are all looking quite nice and balanced. All 3 6s, which is what we like to see, and they're all within tenths of each other, so that's really good. Back here, we're going to go back to the main screen. Right now, I'm pulling 10.8 kilowatts from what we call the generator, but really it's a grid. We're grid tied here. Our battery voltage is 48 volts. We want to bring that up to about 50 or 52 volts. Battery status indicator is orange. It doesn't stay up in green for very long, but I guess green means fully charged, and most of the bulk of the battery is within here. So the inverter is charging the secondary battery at 4.5 kilowatts, so 4,400 watts. For the actual van charger, this juice box, that is pulling 6.4 watts, and actually this cord is super hot. I should be using the black cord, and I might change them over because we're pulling a lot of watts here, so I might just do that really quickly after I get off talking to you. I have 10.8 kilowatts coming out as a combined total. It's all equaling at 47 amps. And now it's on a 50 amp breaker system, so we want to make sure that we want to stay under 50 amps, otherwise we'll blow that breaker and piss some people off. This is the best way to limit that, so I've got it at 48.5. There's no way that we're going to go over the 50 amps here. So I'm going to go and change the head on this cord. I'm going to use this thicker black cord that I have. That's the arc once again. That's what it looks like when it's charging at 6.4 kilowatts. Today we got 109 miles out of about up to here, so there's probably another 10 miles in it, so 120 miles, which makes me really think that we are able to go 200 miles with both battery banks on one full charge. So tomorrow I'll have the ability to go 200 miles, even though I only have to go 100. I could potentially get straight to Fairbanks tomorrow. Maybe I will. I don't know. I'll make that decision when I wake up and I have a bit of coffee and I'm thinking a bit straighter. But anyway, I'm going to go and tend to that plug issue before I start a fire. I thought now would be actually a good time to set up a time lapse and show you exactly what the hell it means to change this plug over and how to do that sort of stuff. Pretty straightforward. You pretty much just pull the same 3 wires out of the circuit and put them into another one. Of the 2 wires here, this one's obviously thicker and more capable of handling higher loads than this one. This one is just to go for longer distances, and when I do go longer distances I usually try and charge the batteries at separate times, not at the same time. Tonight I could probably do them at separate times too, but I want to do them at the same time. I could limit it down to 30 amps and it would charge them perfectly fine on this orange cord here, and it wouldn't get too hot. But I am not going to do that. I'm going to do it on the black cord, and I'm going to charge it at the same time because I want to leave it on all night and I want to get a bulk charge. Set up a time lapse and you can see what the hell it is that I am doing with this electricity wizardry. And that is how you wire up a 50 amp socket plug thing. And I'm gonna go plug it in, so I'll take you with me. Alright, so first it's out the window. Getting wet. 50 amp plug in the socket. And then flick the breaker. And then usually I run inside because I want to make sure I didn't mess up. We have 230, 245 at 60 hertz. and it's using it, and it's switching to a charger now. I'm sure that's, yeah, see that? I go back to the charger, and we're pulling 6.9 straight into these battery cells here. It's only 6.9 because it's the charger. Please don't blow a fuse. So I come outside, get my charger cord, and the van starts charging. Input current limit, here we go, let's make it 48.5. Then we know it can't go any higher. There goes the fan because it's getting hot. Then we know it's going to stay at 47 amps there. And we're pulling 11 kilowatts. 4.8 is going into the batteries, and the rest is going into my thing. So 6.2 is going into my battery here. Thanks for watching Joel's charging fanatics situation alone, but now I could call Brett and he could probably sort it out in 2 seconds for me, but I didn't. I did it on my own. Look at me, strong, independent man. I'm leaving this campsite. It is like 11 AM. I should have got it on film, but I didn't. I was making some cereal for breakfast. And I managed to make a mess of it. I spilt the cereal bowl everywhere, so I just spent an hour or so cleaning that up and giving the old van a good old sweep out. I have 2 full battery packs. My drivetrain battery and my secondary battery pack is full. I figured it out. I've limited it all. I made it all work so that they're completely full. And I'm heading for a town called Delta Junction. I'm not sure if they have 50 amp services in Delta Junction. I've tried to call ahead, but no one's answering their phone and no one's calling me back. So I'm just going to drive and I'm going to see. I know that if I nurse it, I can probably make it straight to Fairbanks from here. So maybe I'll just drive really slowly, and when I get to Delta, I'll stop and see if they can help me out, and if they can't, then I'll transfer my energy and I'll try continue on to Fairbanks.